This person we are about to bring up is a force, a distinguished personality, someone we love, we respect. His work speaks for him. We call him the Kingdom Catalyst. If you have ever been under him, I've encountered him before at Youth Aflame conference, and my life was changed for the better. Ladies and gentlemen, we have him with us today. I'm going to be reading his citation. Okay. Dr. Akinpelu, a well-seasoned and cast speaker. Akinpelu is an official member of Forbes Coaches Council, performance coach, development consultant, author of several books, and keynote speaker. His purpose is to discover, develop, and deploy people and systems to their full potential. He is the CEO of Akinpelu Learning and Development, an innovative consulting, training, and research-driven company demonstrating expertise in the service industry par excellence. He has consulted for many organizations and addressed millions of people in talks, training and coaching throughout Nigeria, Ghana, UK, Canada, Finland, Sweden, Estonia, UAE, USA, and many other countries worldwide. He has helped to facilitate development projects, sister city collaboration, and public-private partnership and cooperation amongst communities.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a warm applause, let's make welcome for the next session,
Dr.
Akin.
Akinpelu. Please say a round of applause. Keep it going, keep it going.
Good afternoon, everybody. With a tincation voice, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, wow. Tincation is getting bigger, bolder, and stronger. Do you want to put your hands together? Legacy is not what you leave behind. Legacy is who you leave behind. If you ever want to remember a man, don't check what he left behind. Those are tangible things that anybody can replicate. But you want to find out who the person left behind. And I'm so glad that the troublemaker himself, Ubong King, left a great legacy on the earth. That legacy is you. That legacy is the theme at Ubong King Foundation. And most importantly, our dear Ambassador Dr. Ove Ubong King. I want you to specially, if you can rise to your feet and just specially appreciate this woman for carrying on, holding the torch, still trailblazing, getting it better, holding it stronger, and making this transgenerational. I hope the hands can come better as we do that. We celebrate you, ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Posterity will never forget that which you do, and we love you sincerely. Please, let's be seated. Great speakers here today. I think that you guys are in for the best time. I heard a very dear brother speak, Pastor Sam Odegbami. Good to see you again. He's a great guy in this city. Let's celebrate him. Great man. Good to see you again. And I listened to Mrs. Khadija Okunolamidi for the first time. Very inspiring. Do you want to celebrate this woman? Thank you so much for that beautiful one. And I also heard the speech from Dr. Ayodele when he gave a step-by-step approach to setting goals. And you see, I have other speakers even after myself that will blow your mind. Let me especially appreciate this man. I think we just meet ourselves on handbills. I'm not sure we've had 1 minute to talk, but probably we've spoken in 4 places together in the past 6 months. Dr. Ugo Omego, good to see you again. Come on, celebrate him, because by the time he talks to you, your mind will be opened. So I hope you are ready for that. So my name is Akinpelu. I'm supposed to speak on from setbacks to comebacks, mastering resilience and achieving success. So I just saw the topic today when I came in. And nobody told me. I opened the book, that I saw the topic. So I'd prepared to say something, but I see that the demography is a lot of young people and students. And I want to do a repeat of a movie of what I did at last year Thinkation. Then I will finish up with what I have in mind, because I believe this will help you very strongly. And so every time I see young people, I'm always moved to first share my story with them. Then we get into the point. Because I saw from setbacks to comebacks. So I think that's a lot about my life. The setbacks, the comeback. And also, Glory, you did a great job. Let's celebrate Glory. Wow, that was so good. So, I think my life is a lot, I have a lot of stories around setbacks. I've had more failures than I've had successes. I like that. It will help. Don't worry. It will help the house to be lively. So keep saying it. And so I always like to start the story from the middle point because of time. And I believe that as an African, just beyond a Nigerian, as an African, I believe that it is a bit difficult to rise as an African. As an African, you are already disadvantaged being an African. I know some of you say, God forbid, it's not my portion. Blood of Jesus. I am the head and not the tail. And all those stuff. It's okay. You can say it. As an African, you are an endangered species. By global competitive index, you are an endangered species. How is it possible for an African to truly rise up? I was in a meeting last week in Rwanda with my friend, Professor Kingsley Mogalu, who is now the president for African School of Governance. And he said to me, he said, Akin, Africa is not rising. Let's stop the narrative. If we just want to give people hope to say it, just say that Africa is emerging. That there's nothing that is really, that you can say technically, that is making Africa to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are. There are things that we called advantages that are no more advantages to us. Before now, we will pride ourselves in our natural resources. We pride ourselves in our gold, uranium, and lithium, and all of those things. And we like the whole world to know that that's what we have. And that's so good. But in recent time, at least in the past 20 years, it's not something you can be proud of that you have. If I plant cocoa, condition it, grow it, and I harvest it, if I spend $10 to get my cocoa out, after I spent the $10, I have nothing to do with it. I'm limited by what I spent $10 on. Then somebody shows up with a different color, says, I want to buy that cocoa that you made. And you just decided to try it and say that I will sell the cocoa for $50. You have made a profit margin of $40. Anybody who makes that kind of profit margin in the society in Africa, he's seen as somebody who is great, is an elite, somebody who is rich, somebody who can ride good cars, live in very good houses, and can afford above average basic needs, then we respect the person. The person is called a role model because he made a profit margin that many of us cannot even think about. Then suddenly a white man shows up and says that, how much are you selling this cocoa? He said, I'll sell it $50. And you are excited that you have made money. And the man pays you the $50. He takes the cocoa back to his country. He returns back and he sells the same cocoa to you at $120, $150, and you wouldn't know. You will buy it in form of Bounty, in form of Snickers. What kind of chocolate do you take again? Your Bonvita, Kit Kat, and some of you will borrow for it, you will slave for it, and you will not know that you have just been used. So with the prosperity margin that you thought you had, somebody had made over $100 on you. Then how then can you say that we are rising or we are emerging? Recently, we went to G20 to borrow money. As we are known, we are very good at borrowing. If you check the chart, the highest aid collectors of the world, we make first 10. You went to collect aid and you wore a wristwatch of 200 million. I'm telling you how poverty can be so strong that the way the world looks at us and they smile at us, you would ask yourself certain questions. Who did this to us? So when I tell you that by global competitive index, it is difficult for an African to rise, I know what I'm saying to you. But if that's where we find ourselves, what do? We cannot pretend that the odds are against us. We cannot pretend that the world is looking at us and they're laughing at us. You go to Heathrow Airport, you bring out your phone, you take a selfie, send on Instagram, send to people that I'm now outside the country. If you know how the whites look at you when you do those things, sometimes they see us as monkeys, sometimes they see us as idiots, they see us as beggars, but what you are excited and you will take a selfie and you send it out. At a point in my life, I said to myself that the only thing an African child has is a dream. Is a what? A dream. There are no natural resources that you can tap into. You are the real resource that you can tap into. You are the resource, you are the dream. And all you have is a dream. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. So my father, I'll start from I'll just quickly do a few things. So he came into Lagos when he was 12 years old. He lost his mother when he was 4. He lost his mother when he was 4, then lost his father when he was 11. So he thought he would still go back to school after his father died. He looked into his cousins because all the cousins were going to school. And they have become very, very important people in the society today. But they couldn't help him to go to school. But he had a lot of trust in them. But somehow, I knew that people were growing up together in a community way. And you can grow up in a house where it's not your parents' house and you'll be properly taken care of. Communities could raise people. But somehow, I don't know what happened to him. He was out of the equation and he couldn't go to school. That he came down to Lagos when he was 12 years old. And his uncle brought him to Lagos. When his uncle brought him to Lagos, 1 week down the line where he was selling record. How many of you remember record? Those big things that move and run. So he was selling record. And 2 weeks down the line, the uncle said, I saw a job advert. Would you want to take it? He said, what's that? A cleaner at a company called Nigerian Breweries. So he didn't have a CV, he didn't go to school, he just wrote an application letter and dropped it right inside the company. And alas, they called him and they said, you have the job. And he jubilated and he was excited for 3 days. That how can in his life that he would have a job? And what's the job he's excited about? Cleaner. Because you don't know what poverty can do to you when you start. We were excited that he came from poverty, and from poverty, he got into wealth and opulence. So I grew up in the city of Kaduna having 6 cars in the garage. We had 3 Peugeot 504, 2 Peugeot 505, and 1 Beetle car. My father had 2 cars for himself that he takes to work. My mother had a Beetle car. She was in Thomas Watt, what you call Apex Mill, working in that place. Then we had 3 other cars that the children would use to take to school. We're almost half of a football team, so we're like 6, and so 2 children to 1 car. That's a good life. I would have been happier in my life if that was how the story ended. One day my father got out of job and he left the job under duress. He didn't plan to leave his work the year he left it. As at that time, all my father had, he had built 2.5 houses. The half there means one was uncompleted. He came back from a course and they said, you are done. Now he got a gratuity. His gratuity was 400,000 naira. 400,000 naira was quite some money in the 70s. So Peugeot 504, brand new Peugeot 504 was 4,900. Brand new, not Tokumbo. So it means that with 400,000 naira, you could buy about 80 brand new cars. So by the inflationary gap of today, you could tell yourself that that's probably about 2.5 billion. Fairly just calculated it. So he got good money. But everything he invested into, it didn't work. He put it into hoteling, it didn't work. He went into FMCG, it didn't work. He invested into 4 things, nothing worked. You know, as an African, you begin to tell yourself of a truth. People follow you from your village. There's no how it will not come to your mind that this, how can you invest into 4 different sectors and nothing worked? Ladies and gentlemen, all the money finished in the space of 6 years. We saw 6 cars become 4 cars. 4 cars became 2 cars. 2 cars became 1. When we had just 1 more car to go, we left Kaduna, came back to another city, then we came back to Lagos. Then my father said to us, with this 1 car, let's get a taxi man who will be riding it. And you know, if you paint a Peugeot 505 yellow, what does that give you? What does that give you? Proper taxi. They painted it, we got a driver. Now a driver begins to take the car, and of course you know Nigerian drivers. That begins to tell you something about Africans. Are we really trusted? You know, one day I was in Europe, so I introduced somebody to another person in Estonia, and he went behind my back to go do business, and so he was doing the business for 6 months, and the day that they were going to make payment, they just said to him, by the way, we met you through somebody. Is he aware of this business deal? Can you put him on the call? Because here, trust is capital. The man was shocked. He never spoke to me about it. He went behind my back and they said to him, we can't continue this business. Something begins to tell you that it looks like we are the ones actually doing ourselves. So you move from the village people doing you to begin to think that it looks like there's something wrong with us. So back to my story. Nothing worked. After 6 months, the driver, 1 month, he will tell you carburetor is not working. Another month, he will tell you this one cut. He will tell you that's not working. After 6 months, he wrecked the car. Now, after he wrecked the car, we fixed the car. My father began to ride the car. One who was once poor became a managing director. Now, in the space of 7 years, began to do taxi. Something in your head begins to tell you, God forbid. He rode the taxi and rode, and after a while, the car was gone. We sold the car for 100,000 naira. This was 1991 or 1993. We sold the car 100,000. By the time he sold the car, we were already indebted to a tune of almost 120,000 naira. So the night they brought the money of the car, he just distributed the money and there was nothing again. So everybody, we told ourselves, and he told us that it's difficult. Should we go back to the houses he built in the village? He had a very good house he built in the village. I came from Osun State. I said, we'll go and live there. You won't pay rent. I can give you one flat to yourselves. Schooling is free. Everything is free. It's okay there. And let's go and start a new life. We're not going to go back because we said we would rather stay in Lagos and hustle and break something out of life than just go back to or become local champions in the place. Then he said to us one day, from today henceforth, your life is in your hand. Tell your neighbor, say, from today henceforth, your life is in your hand. I can interpret that statement in many ways. So it dawned on us, we couldn't feed, we couldn't eat, we couldn't go to school. I remember when we came, we could not afford private school. So when we began to look for schools in public schools, many public schools, it was free in Lagos. But the PTA was 100 naira. We could not afford 100 naira for PTA. We graciously found a school who could take 50 naira, a Baptist school, for our PTA. That's the one that we could afford. And we began to go to school. And of course, you couldn't feed. And so we began to hawk on the road. If I told you that I have hawked 16 things in my life, will you believe? Do I look like it? Do I smell like it? Of course, we go through hell. We come out smelling like heaven. We don't look like what we have been through. Somebody, the vice chancellor of OAU was telling me yesterday afternoon. He said, only God knows how you have worked on yourself that these things never showed in your body. That's the VC of OAU yesterday. We hit on the road. See, I can do a test for you. If you give me a tray to put on my head, what's that thing that is in between your head and tray? And I know Yorubas call it oshuka. What is it in English? Oshuka? Okay. So let's use oshuka. So if I put an oshuka and a tray on it, I can stand and talk to you for 30 minutes and move around and the tray will not fall. It's mastery. Because I did it for nothing less than 10 years of my life. Mastery. I'm going to tell you the interpretation of that mastery later as I continue. I hit on the road. The first thing I sold in my life was ice water. Do you know ice water? Have you seen it before? May you not know it though. You know that Santana nylon that you use to do gari, sugar, pour it using a sieve, tie it, put plenty into some bowls and put it on your head. As an Ajebotak boy who went on the road for the first time, can you imagine how I was selling on the road? I was in a Papa Wharf selling. And the first thing I would say is, buy water. You know why? Because we're in private school. See, when poverty, we just entered into poverty, but we're still in orientation. You understand? You understand when I say we're still doing orientation in poverty? So, I said, buy water, chilled water, cold water. A guy just noticed on the street that for 3 hours, I was just doing drama. And he liked me. I think his name is Zulumba or something. He called me and he said, guy, if you want to sell on the street, that's not how to talk. Then he did induction for me. Taught me how to deal on the street. By the time he was done with me, nobody taught me. I shouted on top of my voice, cold ice water tuture. You see, it sounded funny. That's what I began to say. Because there's also the language of the Chaldean. There's a language you speak in business. You know why I'm sharing this story? Because there's nothing we are doing in business today that you could not find in what we have done in the past. You see, what is happening to you in your life, you will still be doing the same thing the next 10 years. The difference is just going to be knowledge, amplification, and skill. Check every great person talking to you today. They will tell you what they're doing today. They have done it at a smaller dimension many years ago. So as I began to shout, cold ice water, tuture, under 10 minutes, I began to hear, that's a feedback. Because you must learn the feedback of the market. That's how they called me. I started selling. How much was the water? 50 kobo. Sold here. I made 10 naira in 1 hour. I was like, wow, this is magical. The next day, nobody taught me. I forgot about the buy chilled water. Proper street boy, cold ice water. It was many years after that I didn't know what that guy taught me was bad English. Because cold is not far from ice. Ice is still the family of water. Tutu is just the interpretation in Yoruba. But that's the language. You can laugh at it, but that's the language. Then one day he said to me, don't sell ice water again. Let's start selling something. Let's become big boys. So we started selling pure water, the sachet water. Sachet water was 1 naira. Pure water was 50 kobo. So we began to sell that. As we're selling that, it means that we're now bigger boys. If you see people who are selling ice water, they're not on our level. Because we are bigger boys. You make 200% profit margin if you sell pure water. And I began to sell pure water. After 3 weeks, this guy said, we have made enough capital. And he said, let's start selling drinks. So we entered into soft drinks. He just took me to a store. We just shared 1 crate together and they mixed it together and we began to share. Guess the first thing I sold? I sold green sand. How many of you know green sand? If anybody at the back, apart from people in this front seat, if anybody raises their hand, just call the person ancestor. Green sand. Crush. Not the one you have on the next person seated to you. Okay, so let me go to the one that I know you will know. Tandy. Do you know Tandy Gurana? Call the person ancestor. Limca. Gold Spot. Dr. Pepper. So, we're selling that for 5 naira. My profit margin increased. It became bigger. So, that's my journey on the street. One day, I was at Nigerian Port Authority. I met a man who said to me, you speak so good. It looks like you are educated. Why are you hawking on the road? I can't remember what I told him, truthfully. But what I would have told him would have sounded like, I don't have anybody to help me. So I took my life into my hands. And the man said, see me tomorrow morning. I want to help you. You want to help me? You see, when somebody said, I want to help you, that's the first time in my life that I heard that somebody wants to help me. So I was excited. I was happy. Is this how people's life will change? So tomorrow, it will take me somewhere. I will be successful. All this poverty will go. At that time, we're just in level 1. You know, from induction, we're now in level 1 in poverty. So maybe that's how our life will just change. He gave me 9 a.m. to come. Guess the time I got there? 7:30. Of what use is my destiny? And of what use is my life? That if the best of my life is to be selling Gold Spot, Crush, Tandy, Dr. Pepper, if that's my destiny, and somebody wants to help me, won't I leave it? My destiny didn't mean anything. My destiny does not mean anything. So he gave me 9. I don't have any reason to come late. I got there 7:30. Ladies and gentlemen, guess the time the man came. The man came around 11:30. I waited 10, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10, 11, 11:30. The man came in and he said, I'm very sorry, young man. I had something to do with my life. I couldn't make it. I said, hold on, sir. You should not apologize to me. I should be the one apologizing to you. You have something good to do with your life. But you came to sit down with somebody who doesn't have a future. And I prostrated. I said, I'm very sorry, sir. You see, you can see how poverty, that you'll be apologizing for the wrongs of people. It enters into your mind. And the man looked at me. He shook his head. That shaking of head is not like, oh, I'm sorry about that. It's like, you are gone. So he took me and said, let's go. As we're going, as at 11:40, he branched by a place where they were selling food. You know, yesterday when he said, see me, I said, this man is God sent. Now, today, he said, as we were going, he just branched by where they were selling food. I said, who told this man that I'm hungry? Because I've been there since 7:30. I said, this man is not just God sent. He's an angel. What just happened? So we got there. I was waiting. They would say, sit down. I just noticed I was standing. Maybe they forgot. They were gisting about me. And nobody came to ask for my menu. 10 minutes. I was getting unrestful. Then suddenly, I heard in colloquial English, what you call broken English. Say, Naim be that. Say, Naim. He don't come. He don't come. He go sabi walk so. Say, he go sabi. Where did he go start? The man said, now. You see, I didn't need a prophet to tell me that they were discussing me. But what they were discussing about is what I didn't understand. He don't come. Naim be that. He go sabi walk. I thought we branched by to take breakfast. I didn't know that that was the place the man was going to give me to start work. The woman said, oh yeah, make it start. As she said, make it start, one idiot came out from the back, whose name was Uche. Came with Maggie Cube, Maggie Star, yellow coverall. Came to me, walked up to me and wore it for me. Tied it from the back. She gave me my JD, job description. Wash plate, serve food, go back and collect money. When she finished, the boss said, and in case I forget, my money no dey miss. I looked at the man who said he wanted to help me. In my mind, I said, is this help? But he that is on the ground cannot be afraid of a fall. I can't argue. I don't have evidence. What do I want to say? I will shout at him and say, is this help? No. I can't say, I can't do anything. Humbly, I submitted to it. We began to sell rice, beans, dodo, macaroni, spaghetti, all kinds of things. I carried the food to Port Authority, but I marked that man. You see that man? I can't shout at you because I don't have evidence in my life. But I marked his face. In my place, they say if you poo, you will not remember. But if you pack it, you won't forget. So I marked his face in my heart. I said, we will meet one day. But unfortunately, and one of the things you must learn today, I want you to write down as young people, nobody owes you anything in life. There's nobody. Don't sell your power. Don't sell your future. Nobody. No uncle, no aunt, no brother, no sister. They don't owe you anything. Because you can unnecessarily get offended at people because they had what it took to help you, but they didn't help you. But can I tell you, the person who says he can't give you 1,000 naira today can see a side chick in the evening and give the person 500,000. He's just telling you your value. That one is more, there's no stingy man. It's just that their money goes in the place of their values. So, as I continue, remind me, I want to tell you about what happened between me and that man in 2014. So, Act 1, Scene 2. I continue the story. So one day they came and the police said people should stop selling, they should stop hawking on the road. And they sent everybody packing. I was happy that even my boss, because they never paid me, my daily wage was 5 naira. I never saw the 5 naira. Is that 3 naira 50 kobo? They're always deducting every day. I was happy that they sent all of us back. And they said we should go. So we went back to our house. I remember one day I came back from school. I wanted to eat. So because there's no work again, I went to see a fellow poor family. But they consider themselves better than us. But we're all poor, but they were proud. Because, do you know what they were selling? They were selling things of immediate consequence. I don't think I'm saying something serious. I'm talking about gari, sugar, and granite. That's all they sell. But they feel that they are very, very rich. So I met to meet woman one day, and I said that I want to buy gari. She said, fine. I took the gari. My time is up. I'm not up to 10% of what I want to tell you. But let me take 5 minutes extra. So, the woman gave me the gari. Said, do you want sugar? I said, no. Sugar, okay. Sugar is luxury. Sugar? See, things like sugar, egg. You take egg on Christmas Day. Have you heard things like you want to eat egg late? Sugar? No. Because practically, in case you don't know, okay, remind me of that story I will share with you, Act 1, Scene 3. Remind me I should finish it. You see, because I became creative in poverty. For 10 years, in fact, for 20 years of my life, we had one breakfast. It's called Ogi. And every afternoon, it was Gary. One day, somebody said he wants to send me 5 bags of Gary. I said, I will cost you. Because the number that a human being should eat in a lifetime, I've eaten that of 20 people. Never send me that kind of gift. There are things I don't want to see in my house. Gary, Ogi. No. It's traumatic. I took that of 10 people's lives. You're laughing. See, in Gary, on Monday afternoon, you take Gary and water. You understand? With salt. Are you aware that you can take Gary and salt? Now, if you take Gary every day like that, you'll be bored. Do you know that you can put the dry Gary inside fry pan, pour it, and slice some onions, pepper, and Maggi? Don't add water, and just be rolling it. In 5 minutes, you have made something called garium sulfate. Ga2SO4. Creativity came out. So you can't drink Gary the same way. So this woman said I should pay. Let me finish that woman's story. I said I didn't have money. When my parents' money, when they come, we just bought a pepper grinding machine. And there was nobody grinding pepper. When we either sell or when my parents come, I would pay. How much is the Gary? 1 naira. The woman looked at me, which is what I call the point of transformation of my life. She said to me, am I responsible for your father's misfortune? Remind me to tell you what I did to that woman's children. Act 1, Scene 4. So I began to cry. I sobbed. Nobody has ever spoken to me like that. He entered into the Akin of my ara. Whatever that means to you. It entered me. I sobbed and I was walking away. Then the woman called me back. She wanted to pity a poor boy because they were very arrogant. She said, just take it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you want to hear that I just walked away crying. But that was not the case. I won't lie to you. I collected it. You see, he that is on the ground cannot be afraid of a fall. Number 2, I am angry with the person. I'm angry with life. I'm not angry with food. Because there are some of you that you're always angry with food. The food is not the problem. I collected it crying. I walked away. I entered my house. I have to survive. I drank it. Of course, we paid the woman back. But I'll tell you what happened to her. So, Dr. Ugo. So, we kept on like that. See, life was very hard for me. Setbacks. I had setbacks. See, I was brilliant in school. But, see, I remember when I wrote JAM. I wrote JAM for a few times. I just couldn't get into school. Just a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I wrote the 6th one, they seized my result. They seized my result because, and I'm happy they seized my result because after the 6th one, 7 is perfection. If I would be called JAM official. Because I don't know if you remember your JAM brochure. There's always this guy, Chukuma, something, that they show you how to fill the form. One day I was angry. I said, with my capital and investment into JAM, By now, they should have recognized that I should be the one that should be on that brochure that they'll be using to teach people how to fill form. Because that's all I could do. I knew how to fill form. You see, one day my biological father called me after my 5th jam. He said, I don't know what happened to you. We thought you were like the most intelligent, but you are still young. But not everybody will make it through school. Because when you don't have evidence, he said, I want you to go and learn shoemaking. You are the one that wants to argue. There's no evidence. You are not passing. You are not passing. So there are times you will be angry inside, but you can't talk. Like that man that took me to go and sell rice and dodo. I couldn't talk. So what will I tell my father? I'm brilliant, I'm brilliant. They'll say, show me. But honestly, after many years, I told myself, if I went into shoemaking, I would have been the best shoemaker. But I was very angry. I proved to myself. In fact, one day they rented somebody into I just remember that now, to come and do machinery for me to help my brain so I could pass. It was difficult and everything was hard. Hard. Let me stop on the setbacks. Let me do the comeback in 2 minutes. Because we're talking about sparking up hope and resilience amongst young people in Africa. So I told you nobody owes you anything. One of the things that helped me is something called the power of vision. What did I call it?
The power of vision.
Vision is powerful. I don't want you to live thinkation without a vision. Vision is what you see about yourself. Vision is the mental picture of your future. You see, I remember many years ago, I didn't have access, there was no internet. So the only thing I could use to have a good picture of my life is newspaper, cutting newspapers. So I will cut it and I will begin to paste it around my room. Where somebody that looks like where I'm going to, that looks like my future. My passbook that looked like a checkbook. I will start writing myself checks. I hope you know that it was a dream one day that I wrote, pay Akinpelu 1,000 naira. It was a far-fetched dream. But I wrote it in that my passbook and I will paste it and I still have them till date. I was pasting it, vision. One of the reasons why we are angry with our leaders in Africa is that when they go abroad, they see things. And when they see things and they see development, when they come back, it does not show that their mind got exposed to something. They continue the same way that they were. And you're asking yourself, of what use is that exposure? One of the things that we have suffered, like I was doing a public lecture a few days ago on governance, leadership, trade and investment for Africa. And I said that leadership has been a major problem for Africa. We are not visionary in our approach. Please have a vision. I don't know. I'm a believer in Nigeria. That's why I'm still here. But I don't know if it will get better. But I'm a believer in Nigeria. But please, can your own life get better? Do you understand what I'm saying? That your own life, can it get better? Because you are the real deal. So the real investments must come into you. Vision is powerful. Some of you say, oh God, forget that one. That money will they find. Listen, you don't need money. Start with vision. Start with vision. Do you know that I was reading books? You need to know what I was reading. If you saw me, if I'm talking with my friends, they will tell you, don't speak big English, no evidence. But guess what? The more my mind got renewed, it was just a matter of time. The external will soon catch up with it.
Yes, sir.
You want to come back? Vision. Through vision, I said to myself, no matter what, I'll go to school. I'll still go to school. I remember when I went to school, then I left the school by myself. I was not rusticated. My father wanted me, Samson is not here, wanted me to do medicine. So I started with cell biology and genetics. You know this medicine kind of thing. And you want it to pain them. You know, if you finish it, you now say, what people do is when they finish it, now say, yeah, I've done your own course. Let me go and do my own. Me, I didn't do that one. Me, I stopped at part 5. 1 more year to go. That's when it will pain the man. I dropped out. Foolishness. Because going back now, I tell myself it was foolishness. I just wasted my time, wasted my life. I just wanted to get back at somebody. See. Then I went When I got into school, when I got into my part 1, I sat down at the cafeteria, I saw people eating, spending money. How can somebody eat and spend 100 naira at a go, at a meal? It was golden. It was golden. 100 naira at once. Wow. 200 at once. Then I told myself, I need to help people to invest their money. So I began to study about stock market, study about forex market, study about a few things. Then I launched a business. I went to meet my professor in the entrepreneurship class, and I said, can you allow me to speak to this? In part 1, we're like 3,000 in the entrepreneurship class. Can I speak to them? I have a business idea. I said, I give you a stake, sir, 20% in the business. The man was so good. He gave me the platform. I spoke to them. I just wanted to try it. I told people that I know about stocks, the stock market, and all of those things. And I looked at people in part 1 with me. Suddenly, they saw somebody in part 1 as if he was in part 10. They looked so serious. They've never heard of what I was saying. When I was talking about shares, the only share they thought of is they thought I had a bad intonation, that I wanted to say chair that they were sitting on. And as Yoruba, I was now saying share. So when I began to tell them what shares meant, they were like, wow. Wow. And I told, please, if you want to know more about this, if you want to invest, please show up in F201 and you are going to be paying 5,000 naira for application fee. Ladies and gentlemen, it was just a joke. It was a joke. But like joke, I saw 200 people appear that same day. I asked my people, what is happening here? As we were attending to them, other people started coming. We said we should come back by 4 p.m. I called my team. I said, this thing, we just wanted to try it. Remind me, I'll tell you what happened to my first business at 1 It can be Thinkation 2030, don't worry. It doesn't have to. Just remember. Because you have to come next year. Eh? So just remember. So, it was difficult. But with vision, I went to school. The one who could not afford a meal, I went to school. I had my BSc. I didn't allow anything stop me. I wish I stopped there. But guess what? I had my first master's. When I had my first master's, the company I was working for, I said to them, can you pay me 2 years up front? I will slave for you. I will what? Slave for you. 2 years up front. The woman was shocked that somebody can ask for salary of 2 years. I just started work 2 months ago. I'm telling you how to be resilient. All this, nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to. If they helped me, I would have been fine. Can you take your life into your hand? I'm telling you that nobody. You're nothing. The same person. I had my BSc, had my first master's, had my second master's, had my first PhD. Got my second PhD. I'll be a professor May 2025 this year. Tell yourself, say, I can do it.
I can do it.
Say it well. Say, I can do it.
I can do it.
Vision is powerful. Vision is powerful. Vision is powerful. One day I did a paper at CIBN. Now they are here. So when I finished the paper, let me tell you at 1:03, and let me drop the microphone. So when I was done with my paper, a few people wanted to see me exchange cards, just professional friends. Then, remember that man that took me to where I would sell rice beans? Yes. I saw him on the queue. So, see, you are the one that thinks it will take time. It doesn't take time. Just work on yourself. And don't be angry with man. And honestly, just work on yourself. The man was, because I'm the one that packed the pool, I can't forget his face. People didn't know why I was taking time with people to talk. And I started releasing them fast. I want to see this guy because it's sweeter if it's this guy I'm talking. It's sweeter. Life is sweeter. So the man looked at me and says, you did so well. I want you to go to 26 branches and do the same thing for us and all of that. I said, that would be so good. He said, can I have your number? I said, you have it. The man said, no. There's no how I would have met a man like you and I will not make you my friend and I will not have kept contact. I said, sir, did you work so and so? He said, yes. Was your office so and so? Yes. I said, was this the number on your telephone in the office? He said, yes. I gave him 5 elements about where he worked many years ago. This man said that. I said, do you remember one chap that you took, that you helped? that will never forget your help. That you took him to where they were selling rice, beans, plantain. The man could not remember. Oh, and I think, truthfully, he couldn't remember. But he said to himself that if you can tell me all these things about myself, it means you knew me. So yeah. I said, I was the chap that you took there. The man, he went backward. He was shocked. It was a sorry moment. The man just said, I'm sorry. He just walked away. I dragged him back. I said, you see, I told you I don't get angry with food. Remember his first speech to me was that he wants me to do it in 26 companies. So I don't get angry with money. Do you understand? I called the man back. 26 branches, just walked away from my phone. Please come. I said, I forgive you. Whether it's genuine or for money, I don't know. I forgive you. I said, it's just one of those things. I know you would have done better and all of that. And I hugged him. And after I hugged him, we exchanged the numbers. And I said, let's set up a meeting on Monday for the 26 branches. You see, I can be angry with anything. I don't get angry with food. I don't get angry with money. One day, I woke up. I got an email. They said to me that I needed to start gracing the Forbes page. And by the way, I'm the most published writer on Forbes in Africa. At least in a year, I graced the page 10 times in a year. I said, I don't have the kind of money that you people are talking about. They said, somebody spoke for you and said, use my reputation. I said, who is that? They said, his name is Brian Tracy. Then I remember. You see, and let me tell you something about mentorship. And let me tell you what Brian Tracy did for me. Some years ago, Brian Tracy came, so a few things happened. So he came to Nigeria and all of that. And so I wrote a book. There was a time I was doing business and I lost money. I lost about $70,000. That's all I had in my life. And not my money, sir. Maybe 10% was my money. People's money. People give me money to trade Forex, all kinds of things, or invest into stock. That was when we had the economic upheaval and all the stocks dropped. If you remember the days of guys like Abayo, Melba, Bolujo, and the rest of them on radio. The thing dropped. I had a friend that fainted. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks. They couldn't find what's wrong with him, but he was in drip. And I knew what was wrong with him. Because if you have been indebted before. One day, I teach master students in Europe. So one of the courses I take is corporate finance. And they asked me, one Asian girl said, you taught this topic so well. The topic was debt management. Said, you taught it so well. He said, sir, I want to assume that you schooled in one of the Ivy League schools. Is it Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Pennsylvania, Oxford? I say, me. Maybe it's after many years that we started going to that kind of school. I said, I didn't go to any of those schools. I said, but you don't want to know the school that I went to. I said, this thing I'm teaching you is not theory. Harvard didn't teach me. It's organic. It's organic. It's organic. Where did I stop in that story? Brian Tracy. You have joined me too? Oh, okay. So, I lost money and I was crying. And I wrote a book in the midst of anger. I wrote a book. It's called Stay in Your Process. Because I was trying to talk about all my life. Like, why is everything? So I called it Stay in Your Process. Don't look at what you are going through. Look at where you are going to. Sir, I wrote a book in 2 hours. I'm telling you, poverty can birth things. Confusion can birth. You are the one you are the one trivializing your pain. No? So now all of you gathered here now. You are listening to my shame. You left your house, come and listen to somebody's shame. Companies pay me for my shame. Countries pay me for my shame. I feed with my shame. You are the one trivializing your shame. Your shame is powerful. Your pain is great. If you can direct it. So Brian Tracy wanted me to send him a particular document for something. So I'd written that book. When I was done, I tore the book. I said, nobody will listen to an idiot like you. That book, I threw it inside a trash can. But the soft copy was not deleted. So instead of me sending the real document to Brian Tracy, I don't know what happened to my brain. I mistakenly clicked on that rubbish. That's why I sent to him. I just got an email back. Akin, this is good. This is great. Let's publish it. I'll forward it. I said, what are you talking about? You want to forward invoice? I went to check what I saw. It wasn't an invoice. It was that stupid thing I wrote in 2 hours. And he was excited. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I did it. I did it. And I did it. And in 1 week, I sold 10,000. I said, wow. Wow. Before that time, I was owing money. Everything in uniform was looking for me, including Boy Scout. So if I see anything in uniform, I walk, I run away because I know I'm about to be picked. People were looking for me. They were looking for me. I would not forget one day, one of the things that will help you is the power of networking. Please network with yourselves. Relationships are powerful. See, relationships will compensate for the things that you don't have. What you will spend hours praying for in your life, relationship will give it to you in a minute. I'm saying that to you because it's capital. There are things that are bigger than money. There are things that are greater than money. I tell you, some of you want to start a business. There's nobody in your life who can do website for you, who can do graphics for you, who can do. Some people, they are poor. All that they have is money. You need people in your life. And I always have this idea. See, the fact that you met me today, energy, God brought us together. And listen to me, it's not a mistake. The person that is seated next to you is not a mistake. And you must be able to maximize and optimize that energy. So some of you walk out of it and you will not know potentially what you walked out of. One day I was going to Abia State. I sat down in the aircraft and I have one rule. I must talk to you. I must gist with you. I must say something to you. I must connect with you. The word is connection. I must connect with you. And I said, good morning, sir. He said, good morning. I said, my name is so and so, and I'm doing something. The man just picked up his newspaper and kept reading it. He wasn't going to listen to me again. I felt bad. 30 minutes when it was 5 minutes to the end of the flight, they said, let's get ready to descend. And so Abia does not have airport. Over 20 years ago, so we went through Sambakwe in Owerri Airport. Unfortunately, Abia still does not have airport till date. But I know Alex Oti will do something. He's a great man. I love him. We have a good relationship. See, and the man just said, I'm sorry, you wanted to talk to me, I couldn't talk to you. He said, I was reading about myself. Reading about yourself? The anger in my head left. If somebody can be reading about himself, it means that he is important. So, when we were coming down, I carried his briefcase for him. He said, why? I said, I just want to help you. As we came down the leg of the aircraft, I saw 4 police officers walking towards me. That was the time our people were looking for me. I said to myself, have you ever written a script before? You acted the entire script, you produced it, you mixed it, then you finished it and you distributed it in 1 minute. I saw the story of my life in 1 minute and I said, no. Why didn't they pick me in my house? Why not on my street? See the person I'm even packaging for. You want to pick me before this man? It pained me. I was on suit, but my suit turned into parachute. I was shrinking inside of it. There's nothing I could do. Then suddenly when the 4 police officers walked towards me, I just noticed that they saluted me. What? That was a game changer. You don't salute who you want to arrest. I gained my composure back. My mouth began to speak rough again. I began to talk. I got confident. Then it dawned on me that I'm just being stupid. That who am I that police officers will salute inside that airport? Who is my father? It wasn't me they were saluting. They were saluting the man that was by my side. You see the stupidity of a man? Then they took the bag from me. And when the man was going, all I needed, how do I prove that I met that energy? All I needed was a contact. Can I have your card, sir? He said, okay, I'll give it to you. Let's connect. I like you. He gave me his card. I put it into my pocket. He went through his premium lounge. Then I went to the place I will carry my kaya or my lounge or my luggage. While we're waiting for it, I brought out the card. I saw the name. The name I saw on it was CUC Chamber Ikoyi, Professor Yemi Osibajo. Listen, he's not the Yemi Osibajo that you know now. He was just a lawyer. The man became Attorney General. The same man that you met without knowing what will come out of it became a vice president. One day, somebody saw my picture with him and the Minister for Trade, the Element then or something, and this other guy that were going to 3 countries, France, Germany, and Dubai to speak. And people started writing on social media, I tap into your grace. I tap into your grace. Sometimes I look at the stupidity of people. I say, you tap into what? So why can't you go to the gate of Shell and say, I tap into it, and they employ you the next day? Some of you go to people's cars. You don't know their sacrifices, their hard work, their processes. You go and touch tire, Africans, and you say, I tap into it. How does that translate into anything for you? You tap into it. Go to Central Bank and tap into their vault. Please, hard work is good. Smart work is good. Hard work, smart work is good. But the man, I connected, that's becoming closer, don't worry. I connected with the man, in fact, the man that was his assistant, he one day told me, you know Oga likes you. The way you respect him, as if there's something. I said, I will respect you the same way I respect Oga. Let me fast forward the story. This man became vice president of this country. He became acting president of this country. I hope you know that. And he became the president Nigeria never had. That means potentially I meet a president in an aircraft. What prayer will I pray that God, as I'm leaving my house today, take me into Aso Rock? Are you kidding? But through the relationship capital, you can access anything. You see that guy that was a PA? He became the DG of Consumer Protection. His name is Tunde Erukere. Real life stories. I'm telling you. So I spoke about vision. I spoke about networking. That is very powerful. I wish I could tell you more, but my time is over.
Who is not clapping?
Hold on. I'll give you time to clap. Don't use my time to clap. By the time the MCs are talking, you can clap. You can connect with me on social media. I know there's a lot of question in your heart. There's a lot of dream in your heart. On Instagram, my name is Akinpelu. You find it there. On LinkedIn, you find Dr. Akinpelu there. Connect, just write, before you say anything, just write thinkation before you start talking. Then it can make sense that that's what I should attend to personally. I will leave you with my materials because some of you may never meet me again. Our path may never cross. Because the way life is designed, you can't tell. But I can leave you with a part of me. Apart from my voice that you have heard, I can give you my breath. Something that can help your mind. And some of them, go and read my articles, my business articles on LinkedIn. Subscribe to the newsletter. You get it every morning. It will help you no matter what you do. Get all my materials online. It will help you. I'll leave you with a few books that I think can help you. My books are $25 on Amazon. And $25 is about 40,000 or 50,000. I'm not sorry. And I'm not cheap. By the stories I've told you about my life, you know that you can't buy my books for 1,000 naira. So I'm not sorry. But for Thinkation today, below printing cost, I will give you for 5,000 naira. Only today. You are not clapping. You are not getting it. I have a book here called Street to Forbes. How I got into Forbes. This will help you strongly. Forwarded by Scott Gerber. It will help you. I have one of my most powerful books. People they say it's not, but I think it's my most powerful books. I called it Networking Your Way to the Top. I presently serve about 16 governors in this country. Yet I'm not in any cabinet. I've served about 4 presidents and mayors of different cities. What's the language of the Chaldean to enter into the minds of people? Networking would help you. Forwarded by Brian Tracy. I have one here called That's Stay in Your Process. Remember that useless book I told you? That's that useless book. It will bless you strongly. I have one here called Dominion. It's called The Technology of the Spirit. For those who are of the Christian faith and you believe that you are like a man called Joseph of Arimathea, that God will use you for the purpose of the kingdom with wealth and resources. I explained how Nebuchadnezzar took the entire wealth of the world, opened a bulwark on it, a ship, and poured water on it so that the wealth of the world will go down, so that the next person coming after him will struggle. Until one man called Cyrus opened those lift gates. It will help you. My friend Apostle Selman read this, and he was encouraged. If he was encouraged, maybe you can be encouraged. I have one here for those in learning and development. It's called a 7-star teacher. There's one called a 7-star student. You can get it. I have one here called Come to the Table. How to get into, how we can come into the room where things happen. You can get it. And I have one here called Not Guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it will help you. It's been a privilege being here. Thank you very much, Ambassador Dr. Oyime. Thank you very much. God bless you. And I'm going to see you at the top, because your story will be better, greater, and your comeback is going to be better than mine. Do you believe that? Yes, put your fist up and say, I can.
I can. Thank you so much. So please, a big hand for Dr. Akinpelu. That was awesome. Thank you so much, sir. Please don't leave yet.
Amazing. So we need to take pictures and give you a gift. Thank you very much
for
giving
so
us
much,
that
Doctor.
amazing story, laced with nuggets, wisdom, tenacity, resilience. Thank you. There are school students here. Please, once again, just give them a round of applause.
Thank you so much,
Your
sir.
passion was palpable. Thank you so much for impacting us today. Even though you took our time, but it's okay. Thank you very much,
By
sir.
the way, we forgive you, sir. We don't fight with money and food too, sir.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Just so that we can get paid. We can't talk so much, but thank you. Please, let's just put our hands together as we invite Dr. Ambassador Ivy Onyema King for, pictures and gifts to our amazing speaker. And then whilst we're doing that, let's recognize where is Pastor Sam? We have his amazing wife. We just want to recognize his amazing wife, Mrs. Ifeoluwa Odegbami.
Please, a round of applause for her.
She's the founder of Women Doing More Community. You're welcome, ma. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Wow. That was a very powerful one. The tempo is rising. How many of you were blessed? I'm also blessed to be connected as well, the relationship component. Please, you need to go back and keep listening to this message, so that you can get the meat of it. Because sometimes when you're in a gathering like this, you might miss out on some things. But when you go home and you listen critically, you pick some of the things that you missed. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Akin. That was amazing. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. And on behalf of the Ubong King Foundation, I'm presenting this award to you for your impactful support to us during Thinkation 2025 Rock City Edition. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you, ma'am. And we also have this for you.
A friend of mine says it's only in Nigeria that you see the photographer taking pictures and they're the ones smiling. All right, thank you very much. That was beautiful. Another round of applause. Thank you so much. You think that you have seen something, and I'm not washing you. You haven't seen anything yet.